Today on my channel, we are creating a silver, purple, pink, and white floral centerpiece complete with crystal garlands and dew-kissed roses. Stay tuned. For this project, you will need 2 of these 9-inch cylindrical vases. You will need 1 of these 7-inch cylindrical vases. You will need 2 of these candy dishes, just the bowls, not the covers. You will need 5 of these glass tapered candle holders. You will need 3 of these 4-inch sphere foam balls. You will need flowers, any color or any style of your choosing. You will need, of course, some painter's tape and some spray paint, any color of your choosing. You will also need some fairy lights, 3 strands of them, some greeting pins, some crystal garlands of your choice with crystal glass pendants. You will also need some vase fillers, any color of your choice to go with your scheme, and of course your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to spray paint our vases, and to do this we are going to tape off our vase in the design that we so desire. For this project today, I am going to be painting this vase with a layer of paint at the top of the vase, a layer of paint at the bottom of the vase, and no paint in between. So what you can see I'm doing here, I have taped off the top of my vase about 1/8 of the way down. I have taped off the bottom of the vase about another 1/8 of the way up, and to ensure that we are not getting any paint in the middle of that vase, I'm going to take yet another strip of that painter's tape and I am going to cover it all the way around. So now you can see when we go to spray paint, we're going to be spray painting the top of that vase. I'm going to be using a Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Silver Metallic, and so I'm going to get 1 stripe at the top, 1 stripe at the bottom. I'm also going to be painting the bottom of that vase. Now, of course, since we're not topping off the top of that vase, it is a possibility that you will get some paint inside, but that's an easy fix. Just by taking some nail polish remover and a ball of cotton, you can very easily and very quickly clean out the inside of your vase. Once you have done that, it's just a matter of using your vinegar and water to clean the outside of the vase, and then we are ready to go. Now here we have our finished pieces that have been spray painted in silver. This is our finished vase with our 2 stripes, top and bottom. Our candle holders that I painted all the way around, but I did not paint the inside bottom. And our 2 candy dishes that I painted the outside only and not the inside. So now that we are ready to start building our project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue 2-part epoxy that of course I have mixed off screen, and I am going to glue these 2 bowls together. To do this, it is simply a matter of placing that glue around the brim of one of those glasses only, starting at one point and going all the way around to another point. For this project, I'm not too worried about any glue that may seep into the inside because, of course, that bowl is painted, and so we're not going to be seeing on the inside anyway. But I would caution you to make sure that that glue is not dribbling out on the outside. As you can see, I just had to wipe up a little bit of glue that got away. And once you have glued all the way around that bowl, it is just a matter of lining up your indentations, applying a little bit of pressure. Oops, too much. Let's try that again. A little bit of pressure. And okay, so that's not working. So we're going to place the bowl on the table. We're going to line up our indentations. And once we have done that, it's just a matter of allowing that bowl to sit and letting it dry for the 5 to 10 recommended minutes. Once we have done that, we are now going to take 2 candlesticks using that glue, of course, that we have already made, not trying to waste anything, and just following the same process, going around the edge of those candlesticks, or actually of one candlestick, making sure to not have too much of that glue drip on the outside, but in the inside is fine, because of course, again, those candlesticks are painted. And once we have gotten enough glue all the way around the rim of that candle holder, we are going to glue the second candle holder to it. Once we have glued the second candle holder to it by lining up all of our edges and our points, again, it is just a matter of setting those candle holders to the side for the 5 to 10 recommended minutes so that we can continue our project. So while we wait for our bowls and our candle holders to dry, what we are going to do is we are going to apply our string of fairy lights to our styrofoam ball. And to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to take a styrofoam cutter and we are going to cut out a small slit so that that battery pack for those fairy lights will be able to fit into it nice and snug and secure. And to do this, it is just a matter of using that styrofoam cutter to cut out a rectangle, I would say, as deep as you could get it, but not too deep, because what we can do with the rest of the depth, or to get the rest of the depth that we need, we can simply just take our battery pack and literally force it in to the depth that we need. Once we have gotten that battery pack in to the depth that we need, it is now simply a matter of taking that wire and wrapping it around the base of that ball so that when we place that ball in the mouth of our vase, that those lights are secure and they are not hanging over or out of the vase when we're ready. So as you can see, this is going to be a very tedious bit, but I promise you, once you get to the end, it'll make more sense. And so just going around, trying not to get that wire tangled, and just continuing that process, of course, until I get to the end of that wire. So now that we have wrapped our wire all the way around and around that sphere, what we're going to do is take our greening pins and press it into the sphere or the foam, making sure not to puncture, of course, any of those protective plastic sleeves that is around the wires, but placing those pins in to ensure that those lights are not going to be wobbling in our vase, are not going to be falling into the vase when it is time for us to put this vase together. And so as you can see, it is just a matter of going around and around until you are sure that enough of that wire has been secured and there is not going to be any fallout. Once we have done that, we are now going to take our crystal garland and we are going to secure that crystal garland with a pendant also in the middle of that sphere. So as you can see, on either side of that battery pack, and this is what is going to be hanging in our vase when we get ready to do our build-up. Now that we have all components of our centerpiece ready to go, it is now simply a matter of building up our parts. And to do this, we are going to place our bowl that has now dried on top of one of these candle holders. Now, as you can see, I've just applied my Gorilla Glue epoxy that, of course, I've already mixed off camera. And as you can see, I have turned those bowls over. This is helping me to make sure that that candle stick is going to be placed securely in the middle of that bowl. Once I have done that, of course, it is just a matter of allowing that to set and dry. But for the sake of filming and not wasting any of that glue, I'm going to continue with my buildup. Now, those two candle holders that we glued together earlier in the video, we are now going to glue the two of them on top of those two bowls. And again, to do that is just using your epoxy, going around the rim of that candle holder and simply centering it on top of your bowl. Once we have done that, again, typically I would say let's leave this to dry and then we'll come back. But I think I'm gonna keep going, and I hope that now that I'm gonna keep going, this doesn't topple down on me. But I would humbly suggest, if you are remaking this project or creating this project, that in between your gluing of the parts, that you give each part a time to set before you go on to the next. And so as you can see, I'm just placing more epoxy Gorilla Glue on top of that candlestick, and then I'm going to center my vase right in the middle of it and hope that it does not fall. All right, and I think we are successful. So I'm gonna leave these to dry, and then I'll come back to show you what our next and final step is. Yay! It stood up and it did not topple. But of course, like I said, if you are recreating this, I would just humbly suggest that you glue your parts together in pieces and allow them to set before you continue. Now, what we're going to do is we're just taking our vase filler and filling it up. What I opted to do, and of course this is completely optional, I filled it so that you could not see the silver stripe from the inside. So you want to get your filler a little ways past your paint. Now that I have done that, we are going to take our styrofoam ball and we are going to put it into place. And as you can see here, I am using my hot glue gun to put down a few pellets of hot glue to ensure that when I start to make my floral arrangement, that ball isn't going to go anywhere. But what I would suggest to you, if you are creating this for an event, that one, you would not have to turn on your lights until then, and two, you would not have to secure that ball with any hot glue. What I suggest would simply be to put your ball in so that you can see where, of course, you need your flowers to be. Create your flower arrangement. Take off the whole styrofoam with your flowers, place them either in Ziploc baggies or hat boxes to travel to your event. And once you get to your event, it's a matter of taking those things out, placing them on top. Now is when, of course, you'll turn on your light, you will use your hot glue to secure it, and then your arrangements would have already been created. And so I'm just going to continue this process, going around and creating the pattern that I would like until my styrofoam ball is completely covered with flowers, leaving no spaces out. And then I'm going to clean this up, make sure there are no glue fronds that are astray anywhere. I'm going to set the table, and then I'm going to come back to show you what our finished project looks like. Well, here you have it, my darlings, our silver, purple, pink, and white centerpiece, complete with dew-kissed roses and a single crystal garland hanging from each. Isn't it stunning? Now, think about this. How much do you think you would pay an event planner or a party planner to rent these very same pieces to you? Now understand this, the bulk of this project came from the Dollar Tree. You could also get your flowers from the Dollar Tree. If you wanted to enhance this project just a little bit more like I did, I would suggest then getting your flowers from maybe a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's. But anyway you chose to do your floral arrangements, I can tell you, you will pay only a fraction of the cost to make something like this yourself. My loves, my darlings, as I say to you week after week and video after video, the motto of our channel is this: why buy when you can DIY? And if I do say so myself, guys, we knock this out of the ballpark. My darlings, I just want to say to you, thank you for your continued support, your comments, your questions, your love. Please know that I appreciate all of you, and I am thankful that you are in this community, both collectively and individually. If you are not yet a Danny's Darlings, we would like to humbly invite you to consider subscribing to our channel so that you can be a part of our community as we learn from and craft with each other on a weekly basis. If you have found value in this tutorial, I would humbly suggest that you give it a thumbs up, as well as you leave me a comment in the comment section below. We would all love to hear from you. And so, my darlings, until next time, I say to you guys, please be well, please take care of yourselves, know that I love you all, and until next time, bye now.